If you want to succeed in wholesale real estate in 2025, you need to understand how to build a buyer's list. A few months ago, I dropped a video showing you my secret method to finding cash buyers that literally nobody is talking about. That video blew up, but I noticed a ton of you guys are asking how to keep everything organized once you actually find the cash buyer. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how I built and organized my cash buyers list. This is the same process that helped us close over 7 figures in wholesale deals, and if you stick to the end, I'm going to give away exactly what I use to keep all of my cash buyer stuff organized. First things first, why you need a proper buyer's list, but more importantly, why you need to keep everything organized. Let me tell you a quick story about my first wholesale deal. We got a property under contract, but we had no way to keep anything organized when it came to the cash buyers things. We're text blasting the deal to a list of buyers that we bought off of PropStream. We're going into Facebook groups or Facebook Messenger and blasting out the deal that way, and we're getting a ton of interest. So at this point, we knew we had a deal on our hands. Offers are coming in through Messenger, through iMessage, through Facebook, you name it. We're getting offers everywhere. Some of these offers are sight unseen. Some of these guys actually went to the property to go see it. And those little things are things that I wish I noted. Because it got to a point where we were even accepting offers, but these buyers weren't signing the contracts with us. And as a beginner, I'm thinking, if I get an offer, this buyer's ready to close next week because he's a cash buyer. Well, no, some buyers are not even able to close within the time frame that we need them to. And not only that, some of these buyers aren't even real cash buyers. And you're gonna find a lot more of that in these Facebook groups because it's gonna be a lot of wholesalers posing as cash buyers because they don't know how to find real estate deals. Moral of the story, this first deal was a complete shit show in terms of properly organizing or even knowing who's a serious cash buyer or who's a tire kicker. Because yes, it does happen on the seller side of things, and surprisingly enough, it does happen on the cash buyer side of things. We got it closed, we made $5,000. We probably could have got more if we stayed organized, and honestly, we almost even lost out on this deal. This is why you need a system before you actually get a property under contract. And lucky enough for you, that's exactly what this video is for, so make sure you keep watching. There are 3 parts of a quality cash buyer's list: contact information, buying criteria, and the track record. Contact information, it's as simple as their name, their phone number, their email, and their best way to contact them. As far as the buying criteria, you want to know what areas that they're buying in, preferably zip codes. That makes things easier for us as wholesalers. The property types that they want, whether that's single family or multifamily, their ideal price range that they're comfortably willing to spend, how big of a renovation that they're willing to take on, and more importantly, how fast they can close. And when it comes to their track record, you just want to get an understanding if this is an actual serious cash buyer. How many deals are they buying each month? How many have they done last year? This just gives you an idea of how you need to prioritize this cash buyer within your list. Now on to finding the buyers, let's just do a quick recap. If you haven't seen my other video on finding cash buyers, make sure you go watch that first. But here's a quick overview on the method. You're gonna go on Zillow and Redfin. You're gonna look at the recently sold properties within the last 12 months. In the filters section, under the keywords part, you're gonna put in words like investor, as is, investor special, fully renovated, cash offers only. You just gotta use your head a little bit, but use keywords that indicate an investor is involved within that sale. Because I mean, let's use common sense here. If there's somebody buying a home and it looks like it's falling over, it's probably not a mom and pop with a brand new newborn looking to move in there. It's probably gonna be an investor that's gonna buy it, fix it up, and sell it. Now, same thing goes for a fully renovated home with everything brand new on the inside, and it even says that in the description. And if you wanna take it a step further, go to the sale history, and if they were able to quickly turn it around and the original purchase price was $100,000 and now it's sold for $350, I can assure you that that was a cash buyer. But again, you still need to find the phone numbers or the emails of these real estate agents or of these real estate investors in order to actually reach out to them. So again, go to that video that I made a few months back, maybe 6 months ago, and go check it out. It's gonna give you the full tutorial there. But finding the cash buyers is only half of the battle. Let's talk about qualifying your cash buyers. Not all cash buyers are created equal. Questions that I always ask: how many projects are you currently working on? How many projects are you buying each year? How quickly can you close? And are you able to provide me with some sort of proof of funds? Now, some red flags that you need to be looking out for: no current projects, unclear funding sources, too many specific requirements, and the biggest thing of all, poor communication. Communication is key. Time is of the essence. Let's get this deal closed. All right, now let me show you guys in practice how to actually keep everything organized in this exact template that you guys can get at the end of this video. All right, so this is the sheet to keep all of your buyer data organized. As you can see here, this is where you will keep all of the cash buyers' names right here to keep that all organized, their emails, their phone numbers. This right here where it says address, this is gonna be the address of the property that you have under contract. So you can see Brisbane's here, you got Collins here, you got Brisbane there, you got Collins Ave right there. So whenever a buyer is, interested in a deal, or you think this buyer might be interested in this exact deal, that's when you would actually put the address there of the deal that they are showing interest in. But for instance, when it is a new untouched stage, typically it's not gonna gonna have the address here because you haven't made contact with them just yet. You don't know if they're interested in a deal of yours. So you will keep the address part blank if that is a new untouched buyer. Obviously, here's where you can keep all of your notes of their buyer criteria, what zip codes that they're buying in, their deal history, etc., etc. But the stages in these factors right here are going to be the most important part. Mainly the stages, because you want to know where each and every single buyer is within that sales process. So let's just kind of take it from the top. Let's say you went onto Zillow, you got the contact information of a potential cash buyer. You will import that person into this list, like Jacob Rana. He is a new untouched buyer. We haven't made contact with him just yet. So let's say I called out to Jacob Rana and I had a conversation with him, kind of got a good feel of whether or not he's a qualified or an unqualified buyer. And he showed some interest in a deal of mine. Let's say he's interested in the one over on Collins. So he showed interest. Amazing. I sent over the details. He showed some sort of interest. And now I'm just waiting for a call back, or I need to call back to this, Jacob Rana cash buyer to kind of get more, start going in the direction of actually getting this deal closed. So let's say he calls me back and he's interested in it. I'm going to set him over to offering, because now he's either going over to the property to check it out, or he's running his numbers. He's asking me more questions so he can be able to go run his numbers so he can make me an offer. Now, let's say he makes me the offer and we're kind of going back and forth. I'm going to put him in negotiation now. And then also, let's say the contract goes out or the contract goes in. That is exactly how you're going to organize stuff within the stages. Obviously, anybody that you reach out to and they don't show any interest in the deal itself, you can kind of just keep him in new untouched. Now, let's say the person is completely unqualified. You're going to put them as unqualified and you're not going to reach out to them anymore because that is an unqualified lead, probably a wholesaler trying to daisy chain your deal, etc., etc. But the thing that I really love about this sheet to keep everything organized, because let's say you have hundreds, maybe even like 1,000 cash buyers within here, and you want to see all of the cash buyers that are offering on your deals. So let's say we can go to this here. Let's filter. I just want to look at all the cash buyers that are showing interest in Collins. Okay, so it's going to show me Collins. So these are all the people that are interested in Collins. Now let's say some person's in offering, some person's in interested, and some person's in negotiation. Let's just say there was 10 in offering, 10 in interested, 10 in negotiation. I can also come over here and look at all the ones that are currently in negotiation. So it makes it very, very easy to keep everything organized and look, okay, who needs to get me an offer? Who am I in negotiation with? Who is showing a little bit of interest and hasn't gotten back to me with some sort of an answer? Because it's going to help you see, like, okay, I've got 1,000 cash buyers. I've only made contact with about 500 of them. 10 of them said that, they were interested, and I've only gotten one offer. You're lacking. You need to hit the phones and actually get a deal under contract. And with this, you can get super customizable with it. You don't have to use it to a T exactly how I would in my beginning days. And the cool thing about this, organization sheet too, is that you can also use it for acquisitions. You can organize your seller leads in here as well. So it's very versatile. It's very universal. It's a starting point to actually be organized when you're getting into wholesale real estate. But beyond this, I highly recommend keeping all of your stuff organized in an actual customer relation software, a CRM. You can use Follow Up Boss, you can use Deal Machine, you can use Go High Level, you can use Podio. There's many, many things out here. This is just if you're kind of balling on a budget, but also a great way to keep things organized. So again, stick to the end of this video and you'll be able to get a template of this. So now that we know how to keep everything organized in terms of cash buyers, let's talk about building relationships. This isn't just a spreadsheet game, okay? If you want to negotiate better deals and get bigger assignment fees, you need to know how to build relationships as well. How you can maintain good relationships with your cash buyers is regularly check in on them. See what's new with their up and coming goals, what's new for the year, what's new for the upcoming months. Tell me about your goals and let's see if I can help you, attack those goals. And the other two things that I would say to keep a good business relationship or even just a relationship in general with your cash buyers, have quick response times. Nobody likes somebody who sucks at communicating. If they text you, try to get back to them within the next hour or so max. And not only that, try to only send them deals that are within their buying criteria. If they're a multifamily home buyer, don't just keep sending them single family deals, because eventually they're going to keep seeing your name pop up or your number pop up and they're going to start thinking, oh, it's just another shitty deal that I don't even want. But I will say a lot of the cash buyers that are out there are willing to buy any sort of deal as long as the numbers make sense. So slightly take what I just said there with a grain of salt, but if they let you know exactly what their buying criteria is and they don't want anything else other than that, don't send them anything other than that, okay? Now let me tell you a story on how relationship building actually led to bigger and better deals and just more opportunities overall. One of the first few cash buyers that I sold many, many deals with, I'd go out to lunch with them, we'd go out to dinner together. We had a relationship outside of just real estate. And this relationship really came in handy for when I started buying buying and flipping houses myself, because as a 22, 23-year-old guy who's just getting started with fixing flipping houses, doesn't know anything about furnaces or plumbing or electrical or any of that, nonsense, I was able to lean on this cash buyer as a resource. Not only that, he was actually my general contractor for the first 2 fix and flips that I was doing. Having a solid relationship with this cash buyer saved me tens of thousands of dollars when it came to fixing and flipping my first few houses. I had some contractors telling me that it was gonna cost $90,000, $80,000 to do the renovation, yet he was able to get it done for about like 45 or 50, somewhere around that range. Moral of the story, build relationships with your cash buyers, especially the ones that are actually doing volume. Now, here are the 4 most common mistakes that I see with beginner wholesalers. I'm gonna be quick with it just because it honestly is just common sense at the end of the day. Number 1, again, not verifying proof of funds or that they are an actual cash buyer ready to close on your timeline. Number 2, taking way too long to respond back to these buyers. These buyers, they're in the business of making money. Time is money. So if they make you an offer and you don't respond in the right time, they might just go out and buy another house because there's millions of homes out there. So the faster you are to respond, the faster you are to making money. Thirdly, sending deals that don't match their criteria. Again, like I said previously, you're gonna keep sending them these deals and it's gonna be like the boy who cried wolf. Eventually, as you keep sending them deals that do not meet their criteria, they're eventually just gonna ignore everything that you're sending to them. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. And last but not least, not having enough backup offers. You'd be surprised what some of these cash buyers have in their back pocket. Funding might fall through, their contractor might be going on vacation for the next 2 months, who knows? All in all, get backup offers just in case if your buyer has to back out. And I lied, there's actually 5 most common mistakes, and this one is probably the biggest one. Not getting earnest money from your cash buyers. And not just any sort of earnest money, we're talking non-refundable earnest money, EMD. And it doesn't need to be anything crazy. I always like to stick around with like $1,000 to $5,000 depending on the deal size. Keep in mind, these are cash buyers who are willing to buy a property for $200,000, $100,000. So if they're not willing to cough up a little chunk of it, maybe 1% of the purchase price, how serious of a buyer is this person? And not only that, if you are getting non-refundable earnest money, you don't have to rely on your backup offers because they're showing good faith that they're gonna close. And please do not fall into the pit of Mr. Yes Men with these cash buyers. If they're not coughing up that earnest money in a 3 to 4 day time frame, go find a new offer that's probably not a serious cash buyer, or they're trying to get their funding figured out before they can, even sign, the contract or submit the earnest money. Now, all right, guys, as promised, I'm going to be giving you guys that cash buyer template to keep everything organized. That's going to be in the link in the description. Go get that right now. And if you want to learn more on how we run our 7-figure wholesale operation, check out my inner circle. We've got students like Ezekiel who just closed his first $45,000 wholesale deal using our exact methods. The link for that is also in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. I love you guys.